It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct.
One Sunny Hostin just got tag-teamed by Maher and Megyn Kelly in a verbal demolition so savage it might qualify for a UN investigation. One moment, she's confidently sipping tea on The View. The next, she's metaphorically face-planting into her cue cards. What happened on live TV that left her blinking like she just opened her Wi-Fi bill buckle up? Because this showdown had more twists than a reality show written by caffeine-addicted intern.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate.
Maher and Megyn Kelly, two people who've never needed a reason to be blunt, finally decided they'd had enough of Sunny's performative intellectualism. Maher's dry, scorched earth sarcasm collided with Megyn's icy, surgical precision. And suddenly, Sunny's soapbox started to look less like a platform and more like a wobbly IKEA stool. This wasn't a debate. It was an academic demolition derby. Sunny came in with a glitter glue stick. They brought bulldozers.
About Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week, because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. But
let's start with Sunny's favorite party trick, weaponizing her law degree like a lightsaber from the school of smug. Her credentials are basically tattooed on her forehead: former federal prosecutor, legal, expert, professional finger wagger. But let's be honest, anytime someone starts a sentence with "as a lawyer," you can bet what follows will be either wildly inaccurate, painfully obvious, or insufferably smug. Sunny manages to hit all three at once. It's like watching a legal TED Talk, minus the facts, plus a heaping dose of moral superiority.
That hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
What's truly remarkable is Sunny's superpower to turn literally any topic, weather updates, TikTok trends, even the proper storage temperature for mayonnaise, into a masterclass on racial injustice. She could watch a puppy rescue and still find a way to blame systemic oppression. It's like watching a human version of Twitter, loud, performative, and fiercely committed to misunderstanding everything on purpose. Even Whoopi looked like she wanted to press the mute button, because at some point, even co-hosts have a limit.
Term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunny Hostin didn't just get challenged. She got steamrolled in a full-blown philosophical demolition derby, and the only thing she managed to salvage? That signature frown of moral disappointment. Having strong opinions is one thing, turning every conversation into a sermon from the mountaintop. Of condescension? That's her whole brand. She's not having a dialogue. She's starring in a one-woman courtroom drama where she plays the judge, the jury, and the applause sign. But here's the problem. Maher and Megyn Kelly don't follow that script. They don't need the crowd to clap on cue. They just drop facts, wit, and logic. And suddenly, Sunny's TED Talk energy melts into a bad improv show where no one's laughing. Even when cornered by basic truths, she doesn't pivot. She doubles down, as if volume could substitute for substance.
And finally, new rule. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Maher, seasoned and unbothered, watched with the detached amusement of a professor grading yet another freshman essay titled, "Why I'm Always Right." He didn't interrupt. He didn't have to. Sunny's monologue unraveled on its own, each sanctimonious breath digging her deeper into a rhetorical hole lined with buzzwords, rehearsed outrage, and the unmistakable scent of self-congratulation. Then came Megyn Kelly, poised, razor-sharp, and almost surgical in her takedown. She didn't raise her voice or lean into theatrics. Instead, she calmly peeled back the layers of Sunny's faux gravitas, revealing what was left a hollow echo chamber of recycled indignation.
They had a discussion on The View about world superpowers from the sound of it. That's how they got into it. And Sunny Hostin made some comments about patriotism and America and Black America. It's all in there, Jason. I mean, it's all in there. I'm going to tee it up. It starts with Alyssa Farah, who's supposed to be the Republican commentator. And then you'll hear Sunny jump in. Listen.
If America is not the #1 global power, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be communist China, a country that right now the government is imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. It is a deeply racist government. It's a human rights violating government. It is a government that if they are the leader of the free world, we are not a free world the way that we are right now.
The notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. But when I listen to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country.
Sunny's entire shtick depends on one crucial element: never being challenged. She thrives in monologue. Not dialogue, accuse, dramatize, moralize, that's her go-to cocktail. But when someone like Megyn Kelly calmly pokes a hole in that overinflated balloon, the deflation is swift and irreversible. What followed wasn't a slip or a stumble. It was a full-blown ideological faceplant. Because when your entire persona rests on the fragile scaffolding of moral superiority, even a gentle breeze of dissent feels like an earthquake. And this time, that house of cards didn't wobble. It collapsed in cringeworthy slow-motion spectacle.
Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust and slavery.
Megyn Kelly, whose mere existence seems to trigger Sunny Hostin like a fire alarm in a nap room, doesn't even have to speak before Sunny's voice jumps an octave. It's almost impressive how reliably unhinged she becomes at the sound of Megyn's name. See, Megyn has this rare, and apparently scandalous, superpower. She uses facts in full, coherent sentences. On The View, that's basically treated like witchcraft. Cite a study? Break down a timeline without a meltdown or a dramatic hair flip? Clearly, you're a threat to the ecosystem. While Sunny clutches her pearls over yet another imaginary political apocalypse, this week's episode sponsored by Vague Vibes and MSNBC, Megyn calmly and infuriatingly clears the air. She cites sources. She uses statistics. She speaks without shrieking. It's a terrifying display of composure and literacy, the two things most feared on the View panel.
I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sunny Hostin's body language. and the way they look at him and everything else, just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas. Here they are talking about the word woke.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and so
migrate.
why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
It's not even a fair fight. Sonny's out here lobbing smoke bombs of emotion and interpretive dances about oppression, while Maher and Kelly fires off precision-guided missiles of logic. It's like watching someone bring a coloring book to a chess tournament, and then getting furious that the other player knows how the pieces move. You could practically hear Sonny's neurons short-circuiting in real time. Every time Megyn brought up data, history, or basic logic, Sonny's only defense was to retreat into her fortress of moral indignation. It was like watching someone argue that 2 + 2, systemic injustice, then throw a fit when someone pulls out a calculator. You half expect her to shriek, "How dare you bring math into this?" And don't even get me started on Sonny's war on comedy. For someone who claims to understand law and society, she treats sarcasm like hate speech and satire like emotional assault. It's hard to tell if she's debating or auditioning for a very dramatic, very unfunny one-woman show.
Whoopi Goldberg was angry when Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast. Look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction.
Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended because you know who showed up.
Yeah.
And he was, whether he was asked or not. This
So he
is a
was
man
invited.
who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis?